Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated. It's Mary Jane. Let's talk about Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 3, Episode 19, the reunion, Part 1. Let's get into their outfit. Let's talk about Robyn. Robyn had a diesel man haircut. It was just way too much. It's not an ugly haircut, but it was just too much for her neck and her shoulders. You know, she looked like a linebacker in that dress. It made her look very masculine. It was the haircut is not ugly, but you know, it's for a person with small face and small features. It just insinuated all her features that make them just pop, like, you know, where you couldn't really say, is this girl human or what's going on, because you really couldn't tell where Robyn's hairline and her forehead ended or began because of the dye on the sides of her hair being cut really short and it being dyed like a blondish, grayish, whitish color, where you just really couldn't tell where her edges was and where her forehead began. And the way they poofed it up and they like feather it was just like way too much on the side. Gave her like a ducktail in the back. It was just way too much. Like if it was a dark brown or a honey brown, it'll look a lot better, I believe. But it just made her look very masculine. And then Karen saying that she liked the way that, you know, Robyn was dressed in drag. I was just like, oh my goodness, it looked like she was dressed in drag tonight. So moving on, we get to Giselle. She looked like she was trying to join En Vogue in 1992. She's trying to be a member of their group. I don't know where she got that green dress from. The colors, everything about the dress was awful. The material looked bad. It just looked like it's really itchy. She had to open up in the front. Her shoes were on point. Her dress was like the color of like baby feces, you know what I mean? It just didn't really bring out her color or her pop. And then her hairstyle, you know, a bun, you know, a ponytail and a bun in the back. It's just that it looked like she had no hair on top, like she had like a cap on and then she just glued the ponytail at the end. It looked like a ball fade, like a ball Caesar, like she got a shape up and, you know, they just faded her up in the front. Like they just faded it. It was just way too much. Her eyelashes were too much. The white cream or the white blush she had around her face or the sheer or whatever, it was just way too much. The lipstick color didn't go with the dress. It didn't go with her complexion. It was too reddish, too orangey, and it just didn't look right. It was just way too much. It looked like she was going to, you know, like she was, you know, like one of the ladies that go to church and she's trying to get the pastor's husband. She's trying to get the first lady's husband. It was just it was like a zoo, like a circus. Like she looked like, you know, when you go to the beach, Kiwi and shit like that. That's how her dress kind of like look. It was just way too much, and the makeup was just way too dark and too heavy for her because she don't need that much makeup because she has a beautiful face, you know. And then let's move on to Karen. Karen, you know, her wigs always just make her look cheap, you know what I mean? But her dress was nice. It was a pretty dress. It was just the designs on the dress, you know, just made her dress look like a dressed up napkin, like a napkin with designs or whatever. But she did have a nice shoes. She had on a nice pair of earrings. Her I don't know if she just got work done or maybe she was crying a lot. But it was just like something was off or something looked really different about her face. I don't know what it was. It just looked really different. So moving on from her, we get Monique. Monique looked like she was, you know, an African princess. She was from Egypt. You know, it was a nice dress. But when she stands up, it's not really a pretty dress. But she looks like a queen. She looks like, you know, she's representing, you know, Ethiopia, you know, just, you know, queens and things like that. She really looked nice. You know, her hair looked okay. It's just that it seemed like a middle school kid did her hair or whatever, but it did go with the dress. It did go with the outfit. You know, her shoes were okay too as well, but the color really fit her skin. You know, she really looked like she was from royalty a little bit, you know what I mean? Her makeup was nice. It was nice and soft. The colors bounced off her dress. Her earrings bounced off her dress. You know, her slip and her hair was just like really nice the way they slicked it down, gelled it down, and put one regular braid and then they put you know, a twisty like big braid. She looked very nice. She looked elegant. But when she stands up, the dress don't look that pretty, not because of her belly, just because of the designs on the side. And then we move on to Candiace. I was really disappointed. I thought Candiace was going to come and bring it because she did bring it all season. I do like the way she does dress. The yellow was just way too much. Just the material of the dress and the way the dress was designed. I don't like any type of material like that she had out on, like the I just don't like it. Looking like she had a big old fan on, and the color was just way too bright. Maybe if it didn't have, like, you know, the lines and design, then it was just a plain silk yellow, then it would have looked nice. But it was just way too much. It looked like she was going to the sea, going to the ocean. Her hair did look nice. Her makeup was a little bit heavy. I think she could have chose a better hairstyle, because she's been bringing it all season and looking good too as well. But I guess I don't know. Like, so we will say the best dress tonight would be Monique, and then the second runner up is Karen, and then the third runner up. The third runner up. Maybe Ashley, even though Ashley didn't look that bad. Ashley just looked like she was going to a prom in 1999. She just, you know, her hair's always the same. She didn't really do too much. She didn't really spruce herself up or try to go out her way. She just put on that dress and said, hey, I'm trucking. And I didn't like Candice's shoes as well, but Candice's skin and everything looked flawless, looked beautiful. So, you know, R.I.P. to Karen's parents. You know, she lost both parents less than a year. That's really hard to deal with. Sorry for your loss. So it was like, now we get into it. So, you know, it's just like, damn. But they went and, like, you know, Giselle and Ashley really went in with it. They went in with their comments and being very negative, especially towards Karen, and it was negative towards Monique. They was not even playing around. I was just like, whoa, they're gonna really go there. And then, you know, we start off with, you know, Andy was like, oh, you got on your ring. Karen's like, yeah, I got on my ring. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. And, you know, Ashley, and then, you know, they started to talk about, you know, different scenes about Ashley putting out Karen's wig, and, you know, Karen was like, yeah, you know, Andy was complimenting Karen that, you know, like, she handled the situation well, that she wasn't upset, that she didn't get mad, because he really thought that she was gonna freak out. And Robyn felt the same way too, but Karen said that she enjoyed herself, it made her laugh. And then, you know, Ashley and so it was just like that. So it wasn't a big deal. Robyn came up with the idea, and Karen was like, don't be scared when you come up with an idea and you want to be a jost or whatever. It's all good. Like, you know, it made me feel good, and it was happy. I was happy at the time. So Karen, and then the next question is, why, Karen, why do you carry your wigs in a plastic bag? They should be on a wig hat, a wig head or whatever. And Karen was like, well, I got it from Walmart. I was like, no, the bag, but, you know, you went to Gucci or you went to Prada to get to it. And then that's when Robyn was like, you know what, maybe, you know, it's a good wig. It can do whatever, you know, it's you can carry in any bag you want to, because it's of good quality. And so then that's when, and then so there was like, oh, somebody said cheap wigs, and then Karen was just like, listen, you know, it was able to hold up when, you know, Ashley was dancing with the wig, and Ashley was like, it barely hold on, it barely hold up. And they showed like different scenes with Karen and her wigs falling off. It's just like, okay, don't be doing Karen like that. She's already going through enough for you guys to be talking about her wig and showing her wig little clips from the season. And so we had that, but that was like really lighthearted. It wasn't like a really big deal at all. And, you know, and everybody was appreciative that, you know, Karen wasn't upset when Ashley imitated her. And so then they move on to, you know, Candiace, like, what do you mean, like, when you go to every airport that you're famous, people know you, people stop you or whatever. And it was like, you know, so then Andy asked, you know, Candiace to elaborate on that, and Candiace was like, well, when I go to this airport, I go to the airport, everybody knows me, this and that, I just travel in a circle. When you're in the pageant world, and you know this, you know that, you know, people are in tune and plugged in, you know. And so Andy was like, you know, so I never heard of, you know, United States or America, pageant. She was like, well, it's really small. It's among the pageant people that are in the plug, that know the information or whatever. So Anthony was like, so the people in the airport know they're in the plug, they're in the pageant plug. I was like, oh no, they're getting Candiace. But Candiace put on that air, like, you know, And so then Oh, I was just like, damn, they done called Candiace and made her look dumb. But maybe the people in the airport that works there know her. Like, I don't know how people will be able to point her out. So there's so many people that are in pageants or know are plugged or in tune to the pageant world actually go to the airport, and then they actually go on the same day that Ashley's there and they see her and they give her props, and so that's why she can say what she said. I was just like, damn, why are they doing that to her? And then they start to talk about Monique, actually falling asleep at the wheel. And she was like, the comments that she got and what people said about her, that she had a miscarriage because of her drinking. And then people just taking shot at Monique because of her drinking and assuming that she was an alcoholic. And she's actually kind of like blaming Ashley for that, because Ashley was like, well, she had 4 drinks, she was drinking this and that, and it's just, but Ashley, she was like, oh, it's your fault. You brought it up. You're the one that said this. You're the one that said that. I didn't say anything. You the one, you want to play like Miss Innocent and hide yourself and talk about, and then act like it ain't nothing. So I just end up talking about it. And yeah, you had 4 drinks. And Ashley was like, well, if it was me and I did the same type of thing, I would want the same dialogue that you got. So Ashley, she's not sorry about it. She don't feel bad about, insinuating and making it seem like Monique has a drinking problem and things like that. I was just like, damn, she don't even care. She don't even give a shit that Monique is going through that, because that's what she did. Is she's trying to be nasty, and she was nasty about it. And plus, it made the season pop. It was a story. It's something that went down. So that's how that situation goes. And then Ashley said that she's sorry, but she's really not sorry. Like, she apologized and she owned it and this and that, but then she just made it seem like, she really didn't even give a crap about the situation, because then she would have never been like, well, I own mine. If it was me, I would want people to point the finger at me and bring up that I have a problem. So it wasn't really out of concern that, Monique had a drinking problem as well. Monique was trying to explain, like, it was on a girl trip, I was drinking. And so that's what Andy thought, was like, yo, Ashley, every scene that you film, you have a Corona in your hand. And she was like, well, I didn't get into no accident and I didn't fall asleep at the wheel. And if I had drunk 4 Coronas and fell asleep at the wheel, I want you guys to talk about me. I want the same dialogue. So she was just being messy. And Andy was correcting her on her messiness too as well. Like, damn, you can't be throwing shots at people when you live in a glass house. Can't be throwing rocks when you live in a glass house at people, talking about their drinking when you're constantly on this show drinking. Like, damn, how many Coronas do you need to drink a day? Like, come on. And so she doesn't really care about that situation. And then, she don't give a shit about Monique at all. Monique is not really her cup of tea, just like what it seems. It seems like, Ashley has totally picked who she really wants to fool with and be down with. But she also still have a kind of a relationship with Candiace. They still kind of cool and they understand each other. So I guess it is what it is with that situation. And then, Giselle, she talks about, Candiace's situation, whether, Candiace should build a relationship with Chris too as well. Chris's ex-wife should build a relationship and make sure she handles that situation and get to know his ex-wife to keep a dialogue. I was like, damn, Giselle, you should have got to know Sherman's ex-wife to keep a dialogue since they had small kids. But I guess you and Sherman didn't, last so long, so there was no need to have a dialogue with Kendall. So I was just like, damn, okay. Giselle was giving advice. And so, it was just like really just cattiness going back and forth, really nothing. And then when Karen, so then Andy asked Karen about, what do you think about the Monique situation, about her drink? Do you think she had too much to drink? What is your take? Karen was like, I don't think Monique has a drinking problem or anything like that. And then that's when Ashley was like, Andy, you sure you want to be asking, Karen that question? Because, she turns into this person when she drinks or whatever. And then that's when Giselle was like, well, don't she got a DUI? Then that's when Ashley was like, yeah, she got a DUI. I was like, damn, they really trying to throw shots at Karen and throw her under the bus, trying to make her look bad like it ain't nobody's business. Knowing the woman, mother and father just passed not too long ago. And she just buried her father Thursday, and then trying to bring up her past and everything. And Karen was like, I would never drink with your raggedy ass to Ashley, and she was like, you ain't never seen me drunk. I don't drink around you. I don't be around you and all this other stuff. I was just like, damn. And she was, and Karen was like, I don't want to ever be alone with Ashley. I don't want to be alone with her for 30 minutes or a few minutes, because, you don't know what kind of story that Ashley's going to make up, or what she's going to say, or what kind of information she's going to get out of you and use against you. And so then they talk about Monique's, Not for Lazy Moms blog, and none of the ladies, Robyn or Robyn or Giselle or Ashley actually went onto her blog. And plus, Giselle feels like, Robyn's name of her blog is dissing people because it's called Not for Lazy Mom. So who's a lazy mom? Then that's when Giselle was like, who's a lazy mom? Then, like, I'm so offended by the name of your blog. So you calling some moms lazy? And that's when Robyn jumps in, was like, yeah, so if you don't rub essential oils on your kid, that means you lazy. And so, Monique was like, no, that's not what I meant. There's more things about my blog than just rubbing extension oils, on your child and different like that. And it was like, so what do you like better? Like, Andy was asking, so do your kids get natural medicine? Do they go to the doctor? Do they do this? Or you do the herbal route? Do they take shots and this and that? And Monique was like, no, I'll try anything that works for my kids, but I'd rather try the natural way before I start, using man-made way. And actually, she has the time and she has the funds to actually do that. And that's something that is really important, to bring up your kids healthy. That way they have a healthy life and they won't have all types of different illness and diseases when they get older, because after a while, your body starts to deteriorate with the things and negative things that you put in your body, especially if you're taking all different types of medication that cause side effects, and then not eating right, then the bad food, then the water, and just everything else. So Ashley totally agrees with Monique and think Monique natural way is a good way. But she was like, whether it's natural or if it's a doctor's way, neither one is better than the other, as long as you do something for your kid, something for your child. And she thinks extension oils, rubbing it on your kids, are very great and wonderful. So she kind of gave, Monique that little handout, because Giselle and Robyn was like, what are you talking about? Giselle was like, I'm offended by the name of your blog. Some people would be offended if you're a lazy mom. Or you might think, oh, some moms are lazy. But, Giselle was trying to say, just being a mom, period, this and that, you're not a lazy mom and doing the regular stuff. But there are some lazy moms, because we see them in the public. We see them at places that let their kids run around, cry, tear up things. Just, don't even keep an eye on their children as well. Kids running across the street, locking their kids in the car or leave them in the car. Like, we see a lot of different things that we necessarily wouldn't do with our children. So there are some lazy moms, because, wouldn't have all the problems. A lot of kids wouldn't have a lot of problems they had if they didn't have, bad parents. It just don't have to be the mom. It could be the father too as well. So moving on from that, they talk about that. So they're kind of throwing shots at, Monique's blog. Monique's doing her damn thing. And Karen says she feels like Giselle is jealous of Monique. And she probably is jealous of Monique, because Monique basically got it all up there. Like, she got the good husband, the caring husband, the doting husband that wants kids out to kids. He supports her. He helps her with her work. It's just that he wants a little bit more of her attention. And he's happy to be with her. And he's happy to make her happy. And he doesn't let anybody come in and shit on his wife. His mom, even though I don't think he should have just cut off his mom, but his mom came in and disrespected her, and he nipped it right in the butt, even though, Monique wants Chris to actually talk to his mom. But sometimes you'll be with guys that'll let everybody in their family disrespect you, and it's not happening with Chris. So she actually really do got a good marriage, and it doesn't seem like he's cheating on her, and he really does want to please her. So that could be, could be jealous of that. Who knows? And then they also talk about, Giselle, why was you like so in awe that, Monique got first class with, Charisse? Like, why did you make a big deal out of it when you said that you was going to spend time with Robyn while you was there on the trip? So, so then, what's her name? Giselle was like, yeah, I know, but I realized why. She explained it to herself why, but I just thought that if she was gonna have a bonding experience, we was gonna all be together bonding. She didn't have to, upgrade. And Karen was like, she can upgrade anytime she want to, and she was supposed to bond with you on land. She don't gotta bond with you in air. So that kind of like shut Giselle up on that situation. But Monique was like, I just wanted to upgrade. I wanted to have a personal conversation with Charisse because she was having problems going on with Chris. Then they also asked Monique, did she like the advice that, Giselle gave her? And she was like, yes, Giselle can put on that first lady hat in a minute. Like, I'm not surprised that she can give, good advice and be attentive and be nice because she wears that first lady hat very well, basically saying that she's an actor. She be acting and she be fronting. So they talk about that situation, and they talk about Chris. How's everything going on with her and Chris? So far, everything's going okay between her and Chris, and they're just working to better their lives or whatever. And Monique also says that Giselle actually gives good advice when she wants to, when she feels needed, when she feels like she wants to, and when she feels like she feel like it. You know what I mean? And so, so Giselle was like, and so that was like, oh, so Andy was like, can you guys ever be friends? And Monique was like, yeah, I think we can be friends. I think we butt heads a lot, but I think that one day I wouldn't close the door to it and all this other stuff. And Andy asked Giselle the same question Giselle said if she apologized and if she owns her own shit and start owning things. I was like, no, she didn't. Monique was trying to be, political and be cool about the situation. Giselle was like, no, not if she don't own her shit. Not if she don't take ownership, and she needs to apologize. I thought she apologized to you when you guys were up there in France or wherever the hell you guys was, and having this conversation is going to be cordial. Like, okay, so right now they ain't going to be friends. It's not going down. It's not happening between them two at this present point. So I was just like, damn, okay, Giselle, you took a nice little shot at her. I was just like, shit. And so, they asked about Chris, and Chris, with Candiace, why did she get so upset? Because he called her a princess. And then that's when, Candiace clarified and said, no, he goes, don't let this show get to your head because you ain't shit. So basically everybody was like, oh my God, he's saying that to you already. You guys are just engaged. She's like, well, we'll be engaged for a long time. And it was like, whoa. And so then everybody let that go because basically Chris took the bullet for that, because at first that's nothing compared to what Candiace said about Chris and him being a bad father, abandoning his kid. He's a bastard. She went in on him, but shit, he ain't been seeing his kids. Like, that's the biggest thing. So but she's gonna try to handle things privately. And they talk about, Candiace talking about Chris's penis, why she told everybody that it was black, it was white, and she clarified it that it was good. And so that's when Robyn jumped in. So when Chris comes through, we're all gonna be looking at his package. She was like, you can look, but that's mine. So you're gonna be sitting right here, you ain't gonna be able to see it. It's like, oh, why? And Robyn's like, why would you tell everybody about his package or whatever? And so, Andy feels like, oh, is that a mechanism that you use to say that? So because you're in an interracial relationship? Like, no, she just likes talking like that. She likes to be free with her words. And she's probably trying to get the audience to react to what she's saying. She's probably trying to say things that are hip and cool. And then it goes to, like, you always say, oh, you always refer to like a white and black thing. This is what, Ashley was saying. Ashley was like, you always say that's white people shit. People do say that. Like, so they say skiing's white people shit or something like that, And, I don't think Candiace meant it in a racist or a bad way. She's just using like slang to talk. And Ashley was just trying to, throw shade at Candiace. And then Candiace was like, well, you say things like that too as well. And she was like, what thing, equate what I said to what you said. And then Candiace was like, well, I don't know. But, you always putting your big forehead and your big head in somebody's business where it don't belong. Always where it don't supposed to be. Oh, your nose is always somewhere. So, Candiace didn't really have a comeback to the situation. Ashley is being really nice and nasty on the stage or whatever. So it is what it is with that situation. Ashley can be real nasty, man. You have to come back fast and quick with it. You got to have no holds barred with Ashley, because nothing embarrasses Ashley. Nothing makes her feel bad or anything. Like, she knows how to hold a straight face, a poker face, and start talking crap. But especially this season. So, so, Candiace was like, I don't want to share each and everything, because then they asked Candiace, how much does Michael, how much does Chris have in that restaurant? Like, how much part ownership? And then Ashley was like, well, we have a cook. We call him a partner, but he has a small percentage of the restaurant. So I think it's a fair question, Andy, to ask how much partnership Chris owns in that restaurant. Like, damn, it ain't your business. It ain't my business. It ain't nobody's business. Especially if he's going through child support. He's about to get married. It's not the world's business to know how much he owns. If he owns 10%, 5%, 30%, 40%, 50%, 75%. And so, Ashley just being mad shady as usual. And so Candiace was like, I prefer not to talk about that intimate detail. I'm not like you, Ashley, you show everything but your vagina. And that's when Andy was like, well, this is a reality show and nothing's off limits. We should talk about everything. And Ashley was like, well, I tell all my business. I say everything that I've been through and what I'm going through. I'm an open book. And so that's when Candiace was like, there's some things that we have to keep private. And that's that. I was just like, Ashley was starting it. And so, so you have that situation. I was just like, And then they also asked Ashley, the question was asked to Candiace, how do you feel comfortable living in a house that your mother pays for? Then Candiace was like, well, my mother don't pay for the house. And she was like, well, she does, but Chris pays rent. He pays part of it. It's an investment house. And then that's when Ashley was like, well, she's not a housewife, she's a house daughter. I was like, damn, Ashley, why you gotta go there and talk all that shit? But at least she got somebody to pay for a house. She can live in an investment house. You had to marry somebody that you don't even love so you can have a comfortable life, because I guess you didn't have enough faith in yourself to believe in yourself, because the way that it seems like Michael is treating you, like you want kids, he doesn't want kids. He said he was going to have kids with you, then he turned around and said he's not, then he blames your mother, then he blames the business, then he talks about your childhood. He makes it seem like you are beneath him, and he orders you around, tell you what he's going to do and how he's going to do it. It's like you have no say into it. And then if you didn't sign that prenup, it was going to be over. It was like he's demands from you. You don't demand anything from him, but I guess his paycheck. Or not, you don't even get that. You get a little bit of money, and he was getting upset, giving your mom some money too as well. Well, he don't need to take care of no grown woman, but your shit do stink, Ashley. You need to really stop acting like your shit don't stink and act like you're in a great marriage and like you're in a great place, because you're not. Not with, like, God only knows how he treats you. I know he take you places, make you feel good. You just turned 30, but you are a young girl, but you are a smart woman too as well. You married up. And you don't gotta work, and you got a restaurant out the deal. But, it just seems like, Chris doesn't treat you like you're supposed to be treated. And he doesn't respect you as a woman or as his wife or as a person. It just seems like he just walks all over you and tell you either you deal with it or you go. He was like, I was planning my life without you, baby. And he gives you mad excuses of not trying to have kids. And so then that's when Candiace called Ashley a tripod or whatever, basically just diss her. And then Ashley, it's just like, what? Ashley's, well, at least it coming back to Ashley, because usually it doesn't really come back to Ashley. And then, they asked Candiace about, her wedding list. Like, why does she have 250 guests? Like that's way too much. It is way too much. But Candiace says, because I have friends. They asked her if she invited Giselle, and no, she didn't, because Giselle didn't want to go. And she's not going to invite Giselle someplace that she don't want to be. And Giselle is okay with not going. She invited everybody else but Giselle. Because Robyn and Candiace was kind of like getting along, then all of a sudden it just stopped. And then they also attack, or they try to get at, Robyn for being, Candiace being, Giselle lapdog. Like every time you turn around, Giselle is always telling Robyn what to do, or guiding Robyn, or directing her away to how to feel or how to act towards the girl. It's almost like the ladies feel like, Robyn, like Monique said that Robyn needs to sit and Candiace and Robyn needs to sit in Giselle's lap, because she's like her pet, like she's like a little puppy, and And so that's when Giselle was like, well, you don't know what friendship really is. We really have a friendship. You don't know what friendship is. She knows what friendship is, so don't even go there. So basically everybody agreed that Robyn follows, Giselle's ideas and what Giselle wants to do. And if Giselle doesn't like you or have a problem with you, Robyn usually has the same thing. Like, she doesn't have her own idea. And then they talk about the situation with Karen and not going to Robyn's party. Robyn was like, well, it's just because she lied to me and this and that. And then also that, Monique's event wasn't so special because everybody got the same invitation. They can walk across stage. It wasn't like, the event was tinted around her, or it was about her, because we all could have did the same thing, but you chose to go to her event because that's what she wanted to go, and that's what she wanted to do. And whether she, Karen said that she wanted to do both events, but Giselle went back and told you a lie and said, I didn't want to be bothered, I didn't want to go to your event, which is not true. I was like, I'll do two events. I'll do Monique's event and I will be doing, Robyn's event, but you guys gave me that negativity back, so I just end up going to, Monique's event. And plus, she wanted to go to Monique's event because it was better fitted and suited for her, and she wanted to go down the red carpet, and she didn't want to be bothered with no drama, no arguing, because it seems like, Robyn event would have best suited, Karen, because she started the perfume business and things like that, but she just felt like it wasn't going to be good for her to go, so she decided not to go, even though she did say yes. She made a mistake. It was Siri, she just needs to say, hey, listen, I don't want to be bothered. That's it. And then they also talked about, Robyn's, having, the medium come and all this other stuff, the medium come, and then they having a conversation about that bullshit about the medium. And, the medium you just lied and just Google everything. Robyn was like, no, they didn't Google, they couldn't know about, my partner's name, my ex-partner's name, or him jumping off the bridge or whatever. And then also Robyn was like, when she got off the phone with Karen, that Juan heard the conversation and said that Karen was lying. And so then that's when Karen was like, Juan said that I was lying. The one I liked, he's my favorite one. I like him better than I like you. I was like, come on, Karen. So then Robyn was actually talking about, like, the medium probably was real because there's certain details that she didn't that you can't find online. So, and then she says everything's going well with her and Juan, everything's good, everything's kosher. But then, Angie was like, you say the same thing like you're working on it. Something's going to happen. Something's going on. It's like the same shit over and over. And then on top of that, Juan is not even showing up to the reunion. I was like, damn, it is bad for business. It looks really bad. But I guess he got somewhere else to be, or his new girlfriend didn't want him to be at the reunion like he's dating Robyn. So they talk about, Monique's fan page, which her brother runs and he's in charge of. And, Monique apologized for making, Robyn felt like crap about it. And just like Monique, Monique needs to own up to that. That's her brother. That's her fan page. Her brother runs it, so she knows what's being said. But I think Monique feels like this is the way that she actually can defend herself, because it really doesn't come off like she's able to really defend herself. And she said she really didn't want to fight Robyn. Her anger was misguided. It should have been towards, Ashley, not anybody else, because Ashley's the one going around telling the people the rumor. And she didn't want to argue with them, but she told them to leave her alone, but they kept coming at her. And that's why, the situation we got with the umbrella. So we see how that boils down. So, then they talk about Ray and his taxes, and, Cameron was like, ask Ray when he comes out here, he'll tell you all the information. It's in our rearview mirror right now. And the answer was like, how's in your rearview mirror if you still got to pay? She was like, well, yeah, we still got to pay. That's what we going to do. We going to pay, and that's going to be it. Then they talk about the phone call with Robyn. And then actually, Karen actually, she called Giselle first, and then she called Robyn next. And was like, damn, she don't got nobody else to call. But she called them because she needed comfort. She wanted to really know if they was her friends. And she found at the end of the day that she don't really believe that they're her friends, and they got her back because she chose not to share personal information with them. Maybe legally she couldn't share it. Maybe she didn't want to say anything that can backfire, that anybody will post to Twitter or say on the show where the IRS can come after her. So, she feels betrayed by Robyn because Robyn went around running her mouth talking negative about Karen and Giselle, and Karen was making fun of her. So, they did the press conference, and, Giselle with the hashtag this and that. It's not really friendly. Like, I wouldn't be able to talk to people like that, especially if my father's sick, my mother's sick. Her mother, I think, had already passed away or about to pass away. Her father's, very ill on his deathbed, and she got to deal with these people that's supposed to be her friend, want her to talk about all the trauma that she's gone through with taxes and money and, just losing things that, you don't want to lose, things that you work hard for, and they could be taken away from you if you don't have the money or something happens and you can't pay your taxes or your bills. So it goes down like that. I was just like, damn. And so, Karen was just talking about how hurt she was, and then they talk about, them, Karen's taxes, and Karen, they was like, it was, Giselle was like, it was on the Washington Post, so why are we not going to talk about it? So, and Giselle says it's difficult to be Karen's friend and things like that. It's difficult to be a friend because you don't really want to be her friend. You want to make fun of her. She's a good storyline because you don't have anything really going on. So making fun of Karen, trying to pull her out of her comfort zone to talk about her taxes, where they can financially destroy her and Ray, you don't care. You just want for her to just splutter out her business where it could really go downhill. Then they talk about Ashley and her husband being online, and Ashley saying that the gay rumors on the porn site is actually not real, it's fake, and they show a picture of Ashley's husband. Ashley said that's not her husband's penis. Karen said that's not the picture I seen. The picture I seen was your husband. I was like, Karen is going in. So I guess Ashley's really trying to clear up that rumor that it's actually not true. It's Photoshop and all this other stuff. So out of all people they picked him, huh, Ashley? So Karen leaves the stage and she starts crying because she's in pain because she lost her mother and her father and it's too soon, and no one goes to comfort her. Everyone was like, oh, it's too bad, Monique, it's too bad, oh, Candice, oh, it's awful. You know what? And the support, like, if anything, whether you like Karen or not, everyone should have got up to go support Karen. That would have showed a little bit of unity, and that would have ended the first part one off on a good note, that at least they really do care about Karen. But now they really don't. I guess Giselle's the only one that got an ounce of care for her because no one got up. Monique, okay, we understand she don't need to get up because she's pregnant, but nobody got up, and it took a while for Giselle to get up too as well. Peace, I'm out.